I'm Bernie with Country Place Greenhouse, located directly across from the Lebanon-Springfield Airport on Highway 55 or the Lebanon-Springfield Highway. What we have here today is we want to show you our greenhouse that is full of poinsettias. Poinsettias is a Christmas flower that traditionally has been grown for this particular phase in our life, and it's something that's very cheerful. What you see here is a portion of the greenhouse that has all the red poinsettias. Right now it is full of poinsettias. We haven't started to ship yet. We will just start shipping probably tomorrow when we get our first load going out to some people that want to decorate a little bit early. Now, one thing about the poinsettia, in the watering of the poinsettias, a lot of times people tend to overwater. They come with a foil on the bottom of the pot. Most of them you can buy that way. And if the water stands in that foil, it will basically rot the plant. It will kill the plant. It's almost better to underwater rather than to overwater. So when you get a poinsettia, the best way to water is to take that foil off and water it thoroughly and let the water drain out, then put it back in that foil. Now, I've found when I've taken them to the house that really, the amount of water they take is somewhat less than what we think, but they do take water. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that you could not water the poinsettia, that it's going to stay alive for you continuously. But they will last quite well. And there has been some people that just out of the challenge of keeping poinsettias, they go ahead and try to keep them all the way through summertime, and they grow a nice big plant. Now, one thing that is a question, how do you go ahead and bring the poinsettias into flower? And what they do basically is a poinsettia requires around 13 hours of darkness and the balance of the day in sunshine. Now, that's very important, and that if you were to save your poinsettia, you can bring it into flower about any time by following this regimentation. It takes about 7 weeks of this regimentation where they get 13 hours of darkness. Now, that naturally occurs this time of the year, so we don't have to do anything. If we wanted to have them come in earlier, we would have to what they call black cloth them, but we don't do any of that. All of these are coming on a natural season. This particular poinsettia is called Early Prestige, and it's a real good plant. We like it very well. It has a little bit of green in it, and yet it has the red on it, and it got a real good color to it. And this is what we like about this particular red. Now, what we do is we sell most of our plants that go out and to some churches here locally, as well as across the state. We sell to youth groups that use it as a fundraising activity to raise money for their organization. And just like Christian Academy down in Louisville is one of our bigger accounts, and they take 2 truckloads of poinsettias that they'll be getting on this, well, maybe even 3 truckloads on Friday of this week. So there is quite a demand for them, and it can provide quite a bit of beauty. They come with the pot cover, like I mentioned before. You can get it in different colors. And then also we have a plastic sleeve that goes on them that keeps them up in good shape. Now, you want to take that plastic sleeve off as quickly as you can, because if you're leaving that plastic sleeve, that tends to deteriorate the plant after a period of time. Now, I want to show you a little bit. Now, this is our 6-inch pot, and this is quite nice in that we have quite a few of these, around 10,000 of the 6-inch pot of the red ones. Now, of these red ones, the one thing you want to have is your height you want to take a look at that. This is what I call ideal height. Now we have some shorter ones too. We will have as a special here at the greenhouse of some shorter ones. You always have not perfection when you're growing plants. You tend to have a few that for some reason, just like some of us grow tall, some of us grow short, and that's just the way it is. And so we will have some of them. They would make awfully good tabletop decorations. These taller ones will do better maybe on the floor. They can do well on the table too, because you can see it's pretty full all the way around. We also have a larger pot. This is in a 9-inch pot, and it has several blooms on it. A lot of churches use these plants, but a lot of businesses, etc., or just in the home, likes to have this particular size pot. And you can see the leaf. Now see, this leaf is starting to turn. That will turn more red as time goes on. But I like this variety in that it has a few green leaves that stay more green, that have a mixture of red and green together. And I think that adds really to the beauty of the whole plant, and that it doesn't turn solid red. What I want to show you here is a pink plant. Now this is the larger pot, but I think that's really a beautiful color. The pink is quite brilliant, and you can see the leaves are still turning. Some of the leaves will still turn. They've got another few days. This sunshine that we've been getting the last few days helps immensely. When you have cloudy weather, they don't turn quite as fast, but you can actually see the difference when you go ahead and have some sunshiny days. They really, really do make a difference. And especially if you don't come down here for a day or two and you come back and wow, you know, everything's kind of really brilliant and it's coming along good and color wise. Now this one here is not turned yet fully, but I like the color. It's a marble. It's a newer one we're trying this year, in that the marble is more pronounced in the leaf. This one here is turning yet. This one is turning, and by the end of the week there'll be a dramatic difference in the coloration of these. But I think it's a real pretty plant, and it's something that's a little different from your traditional red and white and regular pink. And there is other varieties, but these are the 4 varieties we grow. We grow the red, the white, the pink. On the white poinsettia, we grow a Freedom White. It's got a little yellow tint to it, but it is a white one. This one's pretty good. On the white, we have to grow this particular variety and some of the other ones because the real white ones require more heat. We heat with wood, which we don't maintain as high a temperature sometimes as you would like to for the white ones. But that would be something that needs to be, maybe we can change in the future. Maybe we can put a bench or two and have a bottom heat and get some different ones that are different shades of white. But this is pretty white right here. That leaf is fairly white and does really well. And those are the colors you can see as he goes up to the greenhouse. You know, just the different ones you have a big bunch of marble up there that's showing real good color. And this is what we do this time of the year. We're also getting ready. You can see up there we got some where plastic is over top of a machine. That's where we start seeding stuff. We'll be getting cuttings in here right shortly after the poinsettias go out, and we'll be sticking cuttings and starting for spring. We've already started for spring, by the way. Sometimes people think, well, you don't have nothing to do in the winter months. Well, that's not quite true, and that we have to plan way ahead on all the crops. They take a lot of lead time. Okay, we have something that we're starting for the spring crop is ferns. We have really several thousand ferns started in the greenhouse. They're going to be big and beautiful, But last year we ran out of the large ferns. In the spring I had to go buy some, and they weren't quite as big as what we had done ourselves. And so ferns are really a good, spectacular plant for a lot of people. They grow very well. As long as you water them, they do very well. You just about got to give them a little fertilizer, but they're quite agreeable to a lot of different schedules you can run with a fern. And we have some, maybe you can see the spider plant right there. We grow a few of those. They're supposed to help your environment too, to keep the air cleaner and all. And we do grow some of them, and there is a certain demand for the spider plants. But like I mentioned, we're getting ready to plant for spring, and this is part of our whole deal that we do. We have a lot of plants going, a lot of plans for this coming year. We've added a new building out in front of retail. We're going to be able to put more different varieties of things. Now, one thing we would want to show you today is the pansies. We have some real pretty pansies. I like pansies. Pansies are cheerful, and we can show you a few pictures of them. And I think pansies do very well overall. Like over in Lebanon, we plant on Spalding Avenue, we plant the mound, and we also put the ones downtown. Now, they don't do as well in urns. That sometimes, depend upon the weather, they probably will freeze out in those urns. But the ones in the ground should do well and come along. I've also planted some kale this year, just for the heck of it, and we'll see how long they last. We don't know exactly in that Spalding mound just how long they will go, but they're a little different, and we all need to have a little change once in a while. I'm Bernie with Country Place Greenhouse, located directly across from the Lebanon Springfield Airport. Merry Christmas.